One of the big features of being an independent author is that whereas a traditionally published author usually only has to worry about writing the books and then someone else does the editing or most of the editing and marketing, as an independent author, you're doing all the jobs. And that means you're probably spending half your time on marketing. And if you're doing marketing as an independent, you're probably doing most of that the internet, which is really even as a traditional, most of the marketing world is online and social media. And in fact, if you think about it, the traditional marketing or advertising venues are like television, which is dying, billboards, which are still viable. We still have to drive on the freeways, and there's magazines; those are dying. But anyway, the point is that you're going to be spending most of your time as a marketer. Well, I'll tell you, you'll spend about half your time marketing, and then most of that will be online doing digital marketing. And we're doing social media marketing. And for a lot of us, that can be various different places, depends on where your strengths are. I know there are authors who do a lot of YouTube marketing, which I would like to be doing. I don't have as big as an audience, but by the way, I'm very appreciative of you. So thank you very much for being here. And if you don't mind, give me a like below. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to my channel. Who am I? My name is Cody Cianidal. I'm the author of 5 published novels, soon to be 6. Novel number 6 comes out April 16th. And on this channel, we talk about basically the journey. I talk about, I mean, at least for the live streams, I talk about writing books and marketing them. And I don't claim to be an expert. I just am somebody who's on the trail, and I've been on the trail for a while. And so I have some success. I have some stories of failures that I can share. And this is just really exploring the journey. I guess is the best way to put it. So we're going to talk about today your Amazon author page followers, and we'll get to that right now because I think I just did my intro. By the way, just so you know, yeah, I sound a little funny. I have tongue cancer. At least I hope I don't anymore. I've been through chemotherapy and radiation therapy, and I'm still recovering from that. So I sound a little funny. It's a little difficult for me to speak. Um, but it was important for me to say these things to you now. So we're gonna work our way through this. So what is your so backing up? Like I said, there are multiple platforms in which you can do social media marketing. I tend to do most of mine on Facebook because I have, for me, that's where most of my followers are. But like I said, there are some people that have big YouTube following. Some people are really big on Twitter, or they call it X now. TikTok is really big. They actually call it Book Talk. Who knows how long that will last? There's also email marketing, which I do as well, which I think is very important, and we'll get into that why it's important. But one of the ones that one of the platforms that can be very powerful, but it's probably the most frustrating, is the Amazon author page. And probably because you have the least amount of control there than you do anything else. And so, what is it? Okay, let's get into this. So, I'm going to take you into mine. So, this is my latest book here, um, and if you want to know what an Amazon author page looks like, all you need to do is go to uh, any sales page for a book on Amazon. And if you look at where it says the author's name, and that's a hyperlink, that'll take you to the the author page, the Amazon author page. And this is mine. And you see, there's a picture of me here, my name, the little bio that I uploaded. And it used to be able to do a lot more, but Amazon has streamlined it and has taken away um, a lot of the customizing that you were used to be able to do. So now they wanted to streamline it. So now it's just like there's a little bio, there's your picture. That's about all you can put on here, and then it has all your books, and these are all mine, and and then people who are like me, right? And right now, mine are listed in the rank of popularity, which means which ones have gotten the most most sales lately, or Kindle Unlimited reads, and you can change that. However, and if like I'm a fan of several authors, and so if I'm a fan of an author, I can follow someone's page, and the way you do it is go to their page like this. Like if you want to follow my page, go to my page, and let's see here. Well, it says I'm already following, but if I wasn't already following, this tab would be follow author. And let me just go back to the sales page. You might not even have to go that far. You can probably just go. Yeah, okay. See where it says down here, below the picture of my book. There's a button there that says following, and if it didn't say following, it would say follow, and that would give you the option of following that author. All right, so we got Brian Riley is here. He says, "Hey, Cody, look at my reading glasses on. My goodness, growing old. Hey, Cody, are your books appropriate for kids? My 10-year-old would be interested in reading some." That's That's a great question. Um, I would say this: when I was a young boy, I was reading. So these are written for adults. Um, but I was reading books like this when I was a child. I was an early reader. And my answer to you, okay, a couple of things. So, what is appropriate? And I would say that language and then depiction of sex and violence, right? So, as far as language, there is swearing in it, but the swearing is kept at a minimum. I use swearing as a tension heightener. So, like, there isn't casual swearing in the dialogue, and if there is swearing, it's only in dialogue. But when the bullets start flying and the cannonballs come exploding, the shells start exploding around them. Yes, people do swear. Uh, as far as the violence, I feel like violence and sexual scenes. I feel like I handle them with uh, they're tasteful. And in Rampage on the River, which I would think that any 12-year-old, well, your boy's 10. When I write, I think about the 12-year-old boy that I was, the kind of books I wanted to read. Um, in Rampage on the River, there is a scene. I wouldn't say it's a sex scene; it's a sensual scene that can be a little risque, but it's in the middle of the book, and if your child is able to read all the way up to that point, then I think your child can handle it. Now, I am no judge of that because I don't have children. All I can tell you is from my experience as a child is that it's not any worse than anything that I was reading when I was 12. And um uh and I would think that any child who's sophisticated enough to even get to that point in the book is going to be okay. And the last thing I would say is thanks, Brian. Brian says, thanks, Cody. Um, I wish you well in recovery. The last thing I would say about that is that my book, there's nothing worse in my books that kids aren't already seeing in movies. And if you want to put it on parallel with another book, I would say that it's about at the level of Catcher in the Rye. So if you think your son can handle Catcher in the Rye, then he can handle Rampage on the River, which is a good place to start. Okay, so back to this. So you can follow an author, and I follow several. I follow my friends, I follow my rivals, I follow my heroes. Um, and what does it mean when you follow someone? Well, it means that you that Amazon is going to send you emails when that person has a pre-order or they have a new book out. But before we get into that, I want to show you what it looks like on the author side. So I'm showing you. So so here we go. This is what it looks like on the reader side. So if you want to look at my author page, there it is. Right. I'm gonna make sure. Yeah, and it has a little bio of me, and then it just has all my books on here. And there's a little thing about my recommendations about my books. It's kind of dumb, but it was worthwhile filling out. Like, what readers, what should readers know about your book? And I can write something. What book do you think you wish more readers knew about? You can write a little something there. Just any, like I said, the frustrating thing about the Amazon author page is that you don't have a lot of control. So anywhere where I can have some input, I'm going to do it. Okay, so what does it look like on the author side? And I'm going to see if I can do this smoothly. So we're going to take that down, and I'm going to put this one up. Share screen, and okay. So on the author side, it looks like this. And let's see if it's come up or not. Yeah, there we go. So this is what I see. Now there's several things I look at. This is called Amazon Author Central. There's not a lot here. And there's a lot of authors that don't even know this exists. But this is where I can uh, upload my author photo, my bio, and do some of those recommendation things. But like I said, there's not a lot you can do here, right? But it will give me some information. And one of them is if I go to reports and marketing, I can see how many followers I have. I have 187 followers right now, and that number trickles. Every couple of days I got one or two more. Um, and so a friend of mine, an author, said that he doesn't have a number there, and he doesn't know why. Well, he says he thinks it's because he doesn't have enough for it to register. I don't know if that's true. He might not be looking in the right place. But um, but anyway, I currently have 187 followers on Amazon. It's not a lot, but once again, this is not something I can build. I mean, I guess I could go out and try to get people to join my Amazon author page, but it's really not that worth it to me because I don't have control over it. So instead, and this is on the advice of many marketing gurus and um, Brian Cohen for sure, is that instead of hoping that Amazon does the right thing for you uh, uh, by sending out the email when they're supposed to, uh, start your own email list and try to get people to join that, and that way you can control. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I was very frustrated and disappointed with my last launch. Now, let me take this down for a second because I want to show you. So, like I said, the only things that they do is they, um, at least that I know of, is that if you have followers who are following you on Amazon, they'll send out an email when you have a pre-order, and then once your book is out, they'll send one out for that as well. So let me do this. Share screen. This is very clunky, and please excuse me for this. Okay, we're gonna go back here. So I believe I have a couple friends that follow me on Amazon. My girlfriend follows me as well. I follow me as well, and I believe that my earlier books, I was that the when I had a new release, that people were getting an email about it, and when I had pre-orders. I only started pre-orders when Blood for Blood came out. And so my first two books, I didn't do pre-orders, but I started doing pre-orders with Blood for Blood, and I've since done for Mask of My Love and The Prussian Prince. Now, here's a funny thing. The Prussian Prince, which came out in, I believe, the January of 2023, is that? No, February of 2024. Okay, yeah, so it came out last year. When it came out, and I can't remember how many followers I had over 100 for sure at that time. When it came out, there was no email. There was no email for the pre-order. I did, I think, 30-day pre-order, and then there was no there was no for the new release either. And so I was really disappointed by this, and so I looked into it, and I read in some of the, the FAQs or in the community notes or whatever, that you want to have at least 60 days of a pre-order for the algorithm to decide to send out, because no human being is actually making these decisions. It's all automated. So for some reason, I got skipped, no pre-order. At first, I deduced that maybe it's because my pre-order wasn't long enough. So I made it a point this time around that I wasn't going to do. It said in the in the back pages that you want to have at least 60 days of pre-order. I did 90 this time because I wanted to make sure. And the other thing I did is, not only did I set my pre-orders for 90 days, but I also I've been looking at when I get an email from somebody else's author page, and whether it's a pre-order or it's a new release email. And I found that the pre-orders usually come out about a week before the book actually comes out. So if your book's on pre-order, you got to at least have it on for 60 days, and then it'll come out like 7 days before the book is released, which it'd be nice if it came out earlier, but I think Amazon wants to make sure that you're not screwing around. And especially if that's probably why they don't do it right away, because I'm sure that there are some people who miss their release date or move it around. So, okay. But the Prussian Prince didn't get anything. So that was my main complaint. And then when the Prussian Prince came out, still no email saying it was out. And I've been watching, and lately I've been seeing that when I get emails about people having new releases, I get day of. So if somebody puts a friend of mine just put out a book, I think April 2nd, and Baptiste Pinsamu, he put out a new book, and so check him out, by the way. But I got an email that day saying he had a new book out. And when the Prussian Prince came out, no email. Now, I know I've read somewhere that it can be up to a week or so or even longer before the email comes out. But I got nothing for the Prussian Prince. Not a pre-order email, not a new release email. The one thing I think could be it is that if you look at the cover here, that is a Prussian eagle. It's, just like America has its own version of an eagle, which is a national symbol. This eagle right here is the national symbol of Prussia. And you can see that the Prussians are wearing Pickelhaube, Pickelhauben, which are the spiked helmets. And a lot of people who don't understand history will look at these things. This is, this painting is depicting a battle of 1866. The Prussians of 1866 are not the bad guys of World War II, but a lot of people think they are. They don't realize that a lot of the military iconography that people today associate with the bad guys, and I'm saying it that way because of once again, a non-human algorithm on Amazon, I'm sorry, not Amazon, YouTube, may throttle back if I'm talking about the wrong thing. So we use code speech around here. So the bad guys of World War II, when it is possible that once again, the non-human algorithm that makes these decisions at Amazon looked at my my cover and saw what it decided was bad guys of World War II iconography, and decided not to promote the book. That's the only thing I can think of. So with the new book, let's see if we can get to the new book here. Nothing's easy. With that book, I was more about the Prussians. The new book is a little bit more. The new book is a Franco-Prussian War, and so there's both. But I spend a lot of time on the French side as well. So at least on the cover, I'm focusing more. These are French soldiers. Once again, people get confused because they have kepis and blue uniforms. They think it's Civil War Yankees. No, these are French. These are French soldiers, and you can tell because it's hard to tell in this painting, but they're wearing red pants. The French wore red pants and blue blue jackets, but they wear kepis just like the Yankees did. So I avoided any of that iconography, and I tried to do everything right. They said 60 days. I gave it 90 days, and I kept anything that could be construed as bad guys of World War II iconography off it. And lo and behold, let's see if I can. The email went out. At least partially. Let me do this. Share screen. Okay. I don't know if everybody got this, but Laura got it. And the reason why I'm not sure if everybody got it is because I follow myself, because I'm a narcissist. But no, seriously, I follow myself because I want to see if people are getting emails. And my friend Lloyd follows me. I haven't heard from him whether he's got an email or not. I get emails when he puts out a new book. Like, when, for example, when Malcolm's Bridge came out, I got an email saying that Lloyd Elmer Jr. has got a new book. So I don't know if he got one about me, but this is the one that Laura got. She got it, was it Friday? I think it was Thursday or Friday. So this is what it looked like on her end. I did a screen grab and cut out all her personal information, so you can just see what the email looks like. Subject line: coming soon from Cody C. Engdahl. We thought you would like to know about this upcoming book release by an author you follow. Coming soon from an author you follow. And then, it has the picture of the book. And yes, I'm running, we'll get into that, 99 cents for the Kindle. It's book 6 of 6 on the release date of April 16th, and then it goes on into the blurb and all that. And so I'm very excited about that went out. I've gotten a few new followers in the last couple of days, so I'm up to 187 now. I think I was at least at 180 when this went out. Did all 180 people get it? Well, I didn't, but maybe they didn't send it to me because they knew enough that I was following my own author page. I don't know. But anyway, I guess the takeaway is I'm excited that happened because I'll take any help I can get. And by the way, pre-orders are going pretty well. I'm beating every pre-order I do beats the last one. So I am now past what I got for the Prussian Prince when we did pre-orders for the Prussian Prince. So I guess try to leverage everything you can, especially if you're an independent, because you're a little guy fighting against Simon & Schuster and Penguin Random House, and those might all be the same company. I'm not quite sure because I don't really pay attention to the traditional publishing world. I mean, I do a little bit, but it's not my world. I'm an independent. What I'm trying to say is that as an independent, the cards are stacked against you. And so you have to try to outshout the giants. And so try to leverage every possible avenue you can within reason. Don't kill yourself over it. And so having an author, an Amazon author page and followers on that is great, but I wouldn't, I guess I wouldn't spend a lot of time trying to build that up, although I do take joy in checking it, and I check it almost daily to see if I got new followers. And the reason why is because you can't control it. I can't control if and when they put out emails. So ultimately, what you should be doing is creating your own email list of followers, and that I have. I'll just be honest. I have 88 people on my email list, and it's self-policing. Like, for example, most of the people on my email list are people who have signed up for it. Some of the people, there's a big chunk that are friends with my father that my dad gave me their emails saying that they would be interested, which I'm really not supposed to do. But what has happened is over the course of time, either some of those people or people who signed up for my email list and decided that they want to be on it have opted to get off the email list. And that's not a bad thing. Someone explained this to me and it makes perfect sense. You really only want people who really want to be there, because if someone doesn't want to be there, but they're just kind enough to not leave the list, well, they're really not. They're just taking up space, because you want a list of people who are interested in what you have to say. If you're just sending out emails in the dark that are not getting open, they're getting deleted, ignored, well, what's the point of having them there, right? So in some ways, as your list builds, it also refines itself so that so you have a very active email. And I will say the open rate, I think my open rate is about 40%. So I put out an email, I probably get, and the more people I put on the email, or the more people that add themselves to the email, the open rate gets smaller, because you know what I'm saying, like if you only have 5 people, you have a bigger chance of all 5 people opening up. I have 88 people, and so I'm lucky to get, like I said, around 40% when they go out. But here's the thing: I can control the message. I can control what goes out, when it goes out, who it goes out to. I can subdivide my list. I haven't really done that because that's kind of like advanced email marketing, but I'm working on it. 88 is not a lot. I'm grateful for every single one of them. But when I started my email list, which was last year, I told Laura or myself that you have to start somewhere. And I think when I first started, I had like 12. The few things I've done is it's in all my books. Like, join my email list. It's in the preface. It's at the end of the historical note. It's on the other work by Cody Siengdahl. So hopefully people who are reading the books join. It's also in the bio of all my social media platforms. Where it's allowed, there's a link to it. I also, when I do shows, I bring a clipboard and I ask people to join my email list, and there's a pen there and they can write down their name and their email address. So when I get home from an event, I sit down and I go through it and I manually load all those people in. Eventually, what's going to happen? By the way, it's here in the description below. So if you're watching this and you want to get on my email list, and I'll tell you why you might want to. Just go down the description below. There's a link there. You hit the link. It'll take you to a sign up page. You type in your email address and hit go, and then you're on the list. Now, what happens when you're on my list? First of all, you will not be spammed. I won't give your email away. I won't sell it to anybody. All I'm going to do for the most part, what you're going to get is updates when there is a Kindle promotion. So, uh, except for my latest book, most of my books have like 99 cent or 99 pence in the UK promotions. So I put out an alert to my email list when that's going on. I am also doing the work that Amazon doesn't always do, which is letting you know when I have a pre-order, especially because, like I said, Amazon does it just once for your pre-order, and it's a week before it comes out. As soon as my pre-order was live, I was notifying my email list. I'll also let you know if I'm going to be somewhere where I'm going to be signing books and probably playing my fiddle. And every once in a while, I do some, not a whole lot, because I don't want to bore people. Or if you if you email people too much, they're going to get off the list. But sometimes I'll do an after action report where I'll have pictures. Like I'll go do an event, and then and usually when I'm at an event selling books, I usually have the person who bought the books take a picture with me, and that's called social proof. And I'll share that on social media to say, hey, look, this person bought, my whole series or whatever. Well, I'll make an email that'll have all those pictures as well, and just showing people that, here's the result. And that's social proof, but it's also proof of performance. So if I say, hey, I'm going to be at this show while playing fiddle and selling books, then I want people to see it either during or afterwards that, look, remember when I said I was going to do that thing? Well, here are pictures of me doing that thing. And what that does is it might be like, oh, I was thinking about going to that, and that looks like fun. And, I think I'm going to go next time. So I can't stress enough, as an independent author, and even for the traditionally published, having an email list, no one can take it away from you. I can get canceled and kicked off of Facebook or Twitter. Amazon can kick me off their platform, but I own my own email list, and no one can take that away from me. Right now, I have 88. Hopefully, I'll have more. Right now, I have 88 on my email list, and 188 on my. Is that right? Is 188? 187. I have 187 on my Amazon author page, and I'm grateful. I don't shoo it away. Like I said, you want to leverage every possible tool you have to reaching readers out there. But in the end, it doesn't matter how many Facebook. I have about 2,800, over 2,800 followers on Facebook. A lot of them are probably bots, but still a lot of them are real people. I just hit 500 followers on YouTube. Thank you very much if you're one of them. And if you're not, please follow me or subscribe. I think is the word on YouTube. I'm just under 1,000 on X or Twitter. It's easier for me to say Twitter. But the one that you want to build is that email list. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so pre-orders. Yeah, just so you know what I'm doing as far as marketing right now. I'm buying ads on Meta. I have been running ads in both the US and the UK, basically saying that if you pre-order the French Fiasco before it comes out, which is what pre-order means, it's only 99 cents in the US, 89 pence in the UK, or whatever the equivalent is in your country. So if you live in France, it's whatever that equivalent is in euros. If you live in Mexico, the same thing. Those ads are going to run through tonight, and then I'm going to pull those ads because tomorrow the Prussian Prince is only going to be 99 pence in the UK. And so usually when I'm running one of those promos, I run a Facebook campaign as well. So tomorrow the Meta ad for that will run, and the promo will be going on. And usually what I do with those is that So if I'm running a 99 cent or 99 pence promo in either the US or the UK, I'll run a meta ad, meta being meaning Facebook and Instagram. I'll run an ad, and the ads are expensive, but my philosophy is if I'm making the money back, and because I can see what my daily royalties are. So if I'm at least making the money back in royalties, I'll keep the ad going. And then as soon as the ad is not paying back, then I'll pull it. And the reason being is because in the end of the year, even at the end of the month, I see that a lot of the money I take in royalties is being eaten up with advertising costs. So I'm trying to keep my advertising costs at least reasonable. Right now, I'm still in a growing stage, so I'd rather build my readership than make a lot of money at the moment. The money will come. But what's more important is that there are more people that are reading my books. And so that's why at this point, I don't mind spending quite a bit of my royalties, turning them back into advertising, because I want to build and build and build my base quite a bit. So anyway, all that to say is that we'll run the meta ad for the Prussian Prince being 99 pence in the UK until that ad stops paying for itself. And then we'll go back to running the pre-order ads for French Fiasco in both the UK and the US all the way up until the release. And then I haven't decided if I'm going to continue to run ads for the French Fiasco after it releases, because it's going to be a full $4.49 or whatever the equivalent is in the different countries. Or if I'll just go back to just promoting the other books and hoping that people make I promote the books that are on 99 cent or 99 pence and hoping that helps bring people through the series and get them to the French Fiasco. Okay, and then this is probably going to be the topic of my next live. I'm a little bit more than halfway through. I got this from Lloyd Elmore Jr. He signed it for me. And Lloyd's a friend of mine. I know Lloyd in real life. And Lloyd and I write very different genres. I write, I guess what we could call military historical fiction and action adventure. Lloyd writes, I would say I would call it urban fantasy is his genre. Urban fantasy being like the book takes place in our normal world, but there's something magical happening underneath the surface, like hidden somewhere. And like in this book, it's about a boy who finds a portal in his closet. I will say that this is not the kind of book that I would pick up and read on my own. Lloyd, who I've given some coaching, I coach for free. Nothing formal. I just help people answer questions and help people get their books published if they ask me for it. Lloyd contacted me and he said, if I send you a copy of Malcolm's Bridge, I don't even think this is his latest. I think his latest was The Little Ronin, but I could be wrong. But he said, if I send you a copy, will you read it? I said, of course, Lloyd, I'll read it. But I told him, I said, but just so you know, I'm reading a novel now, and I have another novel that I have queued up that I'm reading next, which is also a friend of mine and a fellow author. So I'll read it after that. So Lloyd sent it to me, asked me what my favorite color was. I told him orange, and so he sent me a handmade what we call a page holder bookmark in my favorite color, which I think it kind of is that orange or is that red? I'm not quite sure. I'm colorblind. But it matches the book pretty well. Magical thing happened. This book was kind of magical. Is just like his other? I wrote a collection of his short stories, and I read a collection of his short stories, The Space Between the Spaces, and I read his first novel, Manville. Just with those ones, I started reading this book and ended up enjoying it. I actually make myself read at least 20 minutes a day, and I have read outside of my requirement because I'm now enjoying the book and I want to read more. So I find myself reading it for pleasure more than just trying to get through it. And the result is I'm getting through it fast for me. Um, I've probably been reading it for a little over a week. I don't know how long I've been reading it, but anyway, I've been enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. The thing I will say about Lloyd's writing, his style, is that first of all, I really like the narrative voice in this. It's very light and whimsical, which I think is appropriate for a book about a boy. I mean, he's 12 in the beginning, or he's around that age. He's a high school senior in the part I'm in now. But Lloyd has, in all his books, or the books that I've read, he affects that kind of like science, that 80s adventure, fantasy, science fiction movies of the 80s, like Back to the Future or Mannequin or Gremlins, or it has that feel. There's a nostalgia to his writing. There's definitely conflict and and bad things that happen, but there's a lot of heartwarming emotional context in it. So yeah, this was a very fun book. Like I said, I'm a little bit more than half. I'll probably finish this next at least by the end of next week. So that'll be probably my next live with you guys, is the review of this. And then the last thing I'll say is, for those of you who are concerned, who have been following, yes, I have. Well, I don't know if I have it anymore. I came down with tongue cancer. It was affecting my ability to speak, as you can tell right now. And at first, I thought it was allergies, but turned out to be tongue cancer in the base of my tongue. Once we got diagnosed, the treatment was radiation and chemotherapy. I went through 7 weeks of that. I'm past it now. And most of my affliction now is not the cancer, but the damage that the radiation has done and the chemo has done to me. So I'm recovering from that. We're not going to know whether we got the cancer for another month or so, probably in May, maybe. So hopefully the treatment killed the cancer and I'm going to be okay. In the meantime, I'm eating through a feeding tube. I'm hoping to get back to eating real food. The reason being is, even though I can talk, even though it sounds funny, it sounds like I have a speech impediment, I can't swallow food or even liquid very well. I can swallow, but I just can't get food or liquid down. And more importantly, I can't get it down and keep it out of my lungs. So when I was eating and drinking, I was gagging on everything because it was getting into the wrong. It's called aspiration, and so I was aspirating as I was trying to get things down. It was going to my lungs, and that could lead to pneumonia, and that could kill me. So they put in a feeding tube, and that's how I've been taking in. All my medications are liquid. There's a few things where I have to crush a pill, but most of it is liquid. When I crush pills, I crush up the pill, I put it in the syringe, add water, and then I have syringes that I'll show you. This is my tube. It's connected to my stomach, and then there's a clamp right here. I open this, I screw in the syringe, unclamp it, and then I can plunger. Like a formula, like my food is I think of like a baby formula, but there's no flavor to it at all because it's not going to my mouth. It goes right into my stomach. Water and medicine. So that's where we are with that. I'll leave it at there. Thank you very much for watching. If you want more of this insight to the independent publishing world, please give me a follow or subscribe to my channel and like this video if you will. And if you are interested in my email list, it's down there. Also, the French Fiasco is on pre-order, and it's only 75% off if you pre-order it, as opposed to this is for the Kindle version, by the way. And then the last thing I'll say is, like I always say, first of all, if you're a writer, keep writing. If you're a reader, keep reading. And if there's a writer that you really like, doesn't have to be me, it could be someone else, but the best way you can support that writer, other than buying their books, is go on Amazon, go on Goodreads, give them 5 stars, or as many stars as you think they deserve. Hopefully it's 5, or at least 4, and or 3 and 2, 1, whatever it needs to be. And and you can do just that. But if you want to do one thing more, write a couple lines. You can say, "Hey, I really enjoyed the book. Couldn't put it down." And that goes a long ways to help authors, even if it's a big author. Reviews and ratings are what tells the algorithm that people like this book, and it shows it to other people. All right, I'm gonna call it off there. Hopefully, probably by the end of the week, I'll have I'll do another one, and we'll do a review of Lloyd's book here. All right, love you guys. Have a good rest of your Sunday afternoon.